Rest, reflect, rejoice. The two most overlooked keys to aging with peace. There was a time when I thought sleep was just something we had to do, a chore, an obligation, an annoying interruption to my to-do list. I remember lying in bed, eyes wide open, staring into the dark. My mind spinning, replaying regrets from the past, forecasting worries about the future, even mundane questions like, what should I cook tomorrow? Sound familiar? Many of us live like this, especially as we age. But over the years, I've learned something life-changing. Sleep isn't a break from life. It's a sacred part of it. In Buddhism, rest is not just physical. It's energetic. It's emotional. It's spiritual. The Buddha taught the middle way, not too much, not too little, and that includes how we sleep. When we treat sleep as a form of self-care, as a conscious act, it becomes more than rest. It becomes restoration. Part 1. How I reclaimed my night and myself. One evening, after weeks of tossing and turning, I tried something different. No more scrolling through my phone until I passed out. No more falling asleep to the noise of the TV. Instead, I created a ritual, a small one, but intentional. I dimmed the lights. I made a cup of warm chamomile tea. I picked up a book I loved but hadn't touched in years. No distractions, just quiet. And something shifted. That night, I didn't just sleep. I surrendered. And in the morning, I woke up not just refreshed, but renewed. It was as if my body, mind, and spirit had been gently reset. Since that night, my relationship with sleep and with myself changed completely. Part 2. The Buddhist teaching that changed everything. I once heard a monk in Thailand say something that stopped me in my tracks. Sleep with the same reverence you bring to meditation. It struck me like lightning. I had never considered sleep as something sacred, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. In Buddhism, mindfulness doesn't end when the sun goes down. In fact, the moments before sleep are some of the most powerful. They are windows, opportunities to check in with ourselves, to let go of the day's burdens, to whisper a silent thank you to our body, our breath, and even the chaos we survived. So I started doing just that. Every night before bed, I would silently thank my body for carrying me, my breath for sustaining me, my loved ones wherever they were. It became a practice of loving awareness, and the ripple effects touched every area of my life. Part 3. Rest as a form of rebirth. The Buddha taught that we are reborn not just in lifetimes, but in moments. Every breath, every pause, every act of letting go is a chance to begin again. Sleep, when treated mindfully, becomes a mini rebirth, a letting go. The day melts away, the worries lose their grip, the past becomes less heavy, and we enter the stillness, not as escape, but as a return to what matters. When I began treating sleep like a spiritual practice, everything changed. My patience grew, my creativity returned, my anxiety lessened. My energy felt deeper, not just more, but more grounded. Just like a lake that settles when the wind stops blowing, my mind began to calm. And in that stillness, I started to remember who I was, beneath the noise. Part 4. Your nighttime ritual, a gateway to peace. So if you find yourself struggling with sleep, I invite you to rethink it. Not as a problem to fix, but as a practice to nurture. Start simple. Light a candle. Journal one page of thoughts. Play soft music. Thank your body, your breath, your heart. Ask yourself, what's keeping me up at night? And how can I create a space of peace before I rest? You don't need expensive supplements or fancy gadgets. You just need intention. A few mindful choices that say, I matter enough to rest. You've earned your rest, not just physically, but spiritually. Sleep not to escape life, but to awaken more whole for the life that's waiting for you. Part 5. The second gift. Celebrating yourself. Now let's talk about something else we often forget as we grow older. celebrating ourselves? When was the last time you stopped and said, "I'm proud of me," not for something grand, but for making it through another day? In the hustle of daily life, we become focused on what's next, what to fix, who to help. But here's a truth that needs repeating. You are worth celebrating. Your journey, with all its twists, detours, heartbreaks, and quiet wins, is sacred. You've overcome, you've adapted, you've shown up again and again, and that deserves to be honored. Part 6. The pie that taught me a lesson. I remember a particularly rough week. Everything seemed to go wrong. I felt drained, irritable, done. But one night I did something small. I bought myself a slice of my favorite pie. No birthday, no promotion, no big win, just because I made it through the week. And in that moment, I felt something stir in me. It wasn't about the pie. It was about recognition. I was celebrating my resilience, my quiet strength, my perseverance. That simple act reminded me of something I'd forgotten. We don't have to wait for permission to honor ourselves. Part 7. Mudita. The joy of celebrating you in Buddhism. There's a beautiful word, mudita. It means sympathetic joy, the ability to feel happiness for someone else's success. But here's what many forget. Mudita applies to yourself, too. The Buddha didn't just teach compassion, he taught appreciation for the small wins, the tiny awakenings, the quiet strength that keeps showing up when no one else sees it. Even getting through a hard day without giving up, that counts. Especially as we age, these moments matter more, not less. Part 8. A story from a retreat. I once met a woman at a meditation retreat. She had spent her whole life caring for others, her children, her spouse, her community. She was loved, admired, and exhausted. During one group session, she shared something simple, yet profound. I've never once celebrated myself, not even once. That week, she began with a whisper of self-recognition, just a quiet thank you to herself each night. By the end of the retreat, she glowed. She hadn't changed the world, but she had changed her world. Because she finally understood, self-celebration is not arrogance, it's gratitude, it's self-respect, it's love in its purest form. So what will you celebrate tonight? So I ask you now, what can you celebrate today? Maybe it's a deep breath you took instead of yelling. Maybe it's the courage to keep going. Maybe it's your laugh lines, proof that you've lived and loved. Life isn't just about surviving the hard times. It's about honoring all the times you got through them. You deserve to feel proud of who you are, every single day. Because the fact that you're still here, still trying, still growing, that is a victory. Living mindfully, aging peacefully. As we journey through our later years, let's shift our focus from doing more to being more, from chasing goals to cherishing moments. Let's remember that. Rest is sacred. Celebration is necessary. And your story is still unfolding, beautifully. So tonight, unplug from the world and plug back into yourself. Light a candle, whisper gratitude, rest with intention, and wake tomorrow, ready to begin again. Because no matter your age, you are still becoming, still unfolding, still worthy of peace, of presence, and of joy. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe and join us on this path of quiet wisdom. Together, we'll explore how ancient Buddhist teachings can help us live more fulfilling, peaceful lives, one breath, one rest, one celebration at a time.